Hello and welcome to another episode of the Small Town Tourist Podcast, where we experience and explore everything that makes small towns great. I'm your host, Abby, and today I am taking you with me to Boulder Creek Wine Bar, located in Santiago, Minnesota. Their address is technically Becker, so I'll have that link down below because it's kind of in a unique spot. It is in the Zimmerman's backyard. Carol and Tony are the owners of Boulder Creek Wine Bar. They are just wonderful people, and I'm just so excited to sit down and have you hear the story of how this place got started and kind of where they're heading in the future. I just found out about this place just about a month ago. My husband and I went out there. He was working road construction in that area, and he's like, oh, this is cool. We should definitely check it out. And we did, and we just fell in love with the place. The vibe, the people, and the wine is fantastic. Carol's actually an official sommelier, so she knows what she's doing. Carol did want me to mention that she does custom stuff too. So if you're looking to have like a special bottle of wine for a special anniversary or a wedding or something like that, she is definitely open to doing those fun, interesting things. So be sure to hit her up. I have all the information for Boulder Creek Wine Bar down in the show notes below. Please enjoy our time hanging out with Carol at Boulder Creek Wine Bar. So Whenever you're ready, give me your name, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay. So I'm Carol Zimmerman, and I was a special ed teacher, and I still am, but I'm now, I own a wine bar, and I recently just became a sommelier, which is not a wine expert. A wine expert is something else, and I'm not 100% sure what that...
Sommelier?
What did I say?
Sauvignon?
Yeah, sommelier.
Okay.
Sommelier. There's actually two ways of saying it. There's a French way and an American way.
No way.
Yeah, but we usually say that, this is what I learned, that you say the sommelier, which is the French way. We don't say it the American way.
Okay.
I don't know. It is a sommelier, yes. I am originally from North Dakota, West Fargo, and then I taught school down in southern Minnesota, and then I ended up cities area, and then I migrated up here. But I'm here in this place because my husband built this place, and I moved here after my baby son graduated high school. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And this is such a cool place. So the first time I was out here was just a couple weeks ago. My husband texted me. He's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And it's my busy season DJing weddings. And I'm like, well, I got a wedding to do Saturday night. And he's like, well, what about Sunday? And I'm like, I guess nothing. He's like, there's a wine bar. He works out in this neck of the woods somewhere. He does road construction. He's like, we got to go check it out. And it's very rare that I let myself be surprised by something. I'm the researcher. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what I'm going into. And I said, nope, I'm just going to go in blind. I want to be surprised for once. And I'm so glad that I did, because this place is so dang cool.
That's nice. Thank you.
So give me the backstory. Why do you have a wine bar in your backyard?
Okay. So my husband, Tony, had an idea in his head for years. We had been, dating, I don't know how long, but we were sitting and having a drink in a bar, and he drew it out on a bar napkin for me. Because I said, what are you thinking? Because this was all just weeds and grass. At that time, yes. And then he drew it out on a bar napkin, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. And, I'm a teacher. So this is like too nice I shouldn't say that for teachers. Every teacher should have this. But unfortunately, mom and dad passed, and I got some inheritance. And this is what we did. So if you look around, you'll see butterflies and dragonflies everywhere, and that's mom and dad. Aww. Mom is butterflies, dad was the dragonfly. But so then after mom passed, Tony's mom passed in 2020. And then Tony thought to himself, what am I waiting for? I learned later. And he asked me to marry him. Aww. So then in the spring, we thought, okay, where are we going to go? Of course, we got to go back here. But this was not here. So then it was like March of 2021. And he kind of drew it out on the snow with his foot. And I thought, gosh, it's not very big. I don't know. And then we got the concrete. We put the posts in and we got the concrete in. I thought, oh, yeah, that's good. And then when we put the granite countertops on, I thought, oh, boy, we need more friends. This is too big for one family. So we had a couple of parties. We had school parties and a few other things. We had our wedding back here, though. So that was September, and we had 250 people back here.
Oh, my gosh.
It was the best day ever. We had like a live band over there. We had the whole back tented, and so it was just fabulous. But then we just relaxed and had it as family. So at the same time, I've been making wine for about 5 years. And a lot of people, and I give it away. I always just gave it away. And a lot of people are like, you should sell it, Carol. I'm like, well, if I sell it without a license, it is a felony.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. Again, I am a teacher, and that wouldn't look very well.
It's not going to look real good.
Nope. So after I got married, it was summertime, and I kind of looked into how do you sell wine? Because I said, well, maybe we should have a little wine bar back here, Tony. And he was like, I don't know. And then he said, well, look into it. So I looked into it, and I said, there's a lot of steps, a lot. He said, well, let's take, one step at a time. So I went through the federal government first, and I went through TTB and all the federal. I got approved with the federal government. I went to Santiago Township, and they were like more than happy. They were like, "Did you bring samples?" It was so cute.
That's very township of them.
Yeah, it was, yes. And then I kind of worked with the county and the state at the same time, and I had a lot of roadblocks there. So we are the only winery in Sherburne County. So Sherburne County, I think, didn't really know how to handle me. And the state as well. They said, we're putting a round peg in a square hole. This is weird. And so the state, how it worked was I found that I would fit under the farm winery.
Okay.
Because we are zoned agriculture.
Okay.
And as a farm winery, years ago, you used to have over 50% of your product come from Minnesota. And somebody sued somebody, and now it's a reasonable amount from the state of Minnesota. So I do have some University of Minnesota hybrid grapes that I'm attempting to grow. And I have my little apple orchard, so I use those apples for my apple cider that I make. And you can't grow Chardonnay grapes. And that's my go-to.
Right.
So then I just buy the juice or I buy the fruit. And I battled for 2 full years, and then we were finally licensed.
Oh, my gosh. So, 2 years?
Yes. Last year we opened, and then we were told no. And the State Department came out, and it was actually just a free will donation. I, again, gave away wine, and I kidded with my minister, and I said, this is the Church of Boulder Creek. Mm-hmm. I don't think he thought it was funny, but I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever works, man.
But the guy did come out, and he gave me a clause to put up, and it said something about it is a non-licensed fermented juice that people over 21 can drink, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. So he said, you got to put it up in at least 2 places. And then, but he said, hand out your menus on what you would charge. And almost everybody was so very generous. They were really good. Some people were like, forget the state, but I wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
So then over this last winter, my husband and I built a new production area. And like New Year's Day, we were breaking up concrete. That's a hard job, I tell you.
My gosh.
And then we built the new production area and got everything in place, and I finally got licensed, and so it's been great.
What an insane journey.
Yeah.
It just shows how dedicated you are to this dream and this vision that you have, because anyone else would hit those roadblocks and be like, well, I guess I'm done. Like, I don't want to fight this battle. And not
Abby,
you.
I kind of did. Like, I would call my husband going, oh, those people, they're driving me crazy. I don't want to do this. And he said, it's okay. Let's just do this. So he was my cheerleader. And, everybody comes in and says, what a beautiful place. And that was all Tony. And the wine and the cider beer is all me. So it's a good combination. But he was my cheerleader, is my cheerleader. And he kept me going because I was, like, giving up. I was like, I'm done with this in the middle of last summer. And he said, we're going to stop trying for the summer. We're going to try again when we're closed and go through the process. So we got the, I think, 8-page long spec sheet that we needed to and follow, and we just checked things off. So it took all summer, all winter, but yeah, I kind of did give up sometimes, but then came back. Yeah.
It's like the saying, it's like, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time.
Yes, 100%. You climb that cliff 1 step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys have the full production area now.
Yes.
Your wines. Oh my God. They are so good. So we were out here a couple weeks ago, and I right off the bat, I'm like, I'm going to do flight. Just, dip my toe into this little pool here and see how it is. Every single one. I'm like, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. How are they getting better and better? Oh, my God.
Oh, I love that.
They're so good.
Okay. So the very, very first time I made wine, I made Chardonnay because that's my go-to. And I made it, and I was so excited. I bottled it, and I tasted it. I went, oh, this isn't that good. And so I said, Tony, taste this. And he goes, yeah, there's something wrong. I don't know. So then I just put it on the shelf. I had a little wine cellar, and I put it on 30 bottles on the shelf. So then I tried. It was a red. I think it was like a red blend. And once that was done, so it was like 6 weeks or 8 weeks later, I had a little taste, and I thought, oh, yeah, that's good. Now I got to pour that Chardonnay out. So I poured out like 4 bottles, and on my 4th bottle, I poured some in a glass, and I tasted. I went, what? Wait a minute. I said, Tony, taste this. Is this good? Because it's good to me. And he's like, yeah, this is good. And so then I realized that when I'm making wine with oak, it needs to sit a little bit. So then, I have had some experiments. This last week, I was making a raspberry dragon fruit and what I call tropical boom boom.
They're both fantastic for the listeners. Those 2 were my top picks.
Awesome. But what I did, so I make the base wine and then I put in the flavoring. Well, I put in the flavoring to both of them in one and nothing in the other. And so, because one of them I put in early in the process, and one of them the flavoring you put in towards the end of the process. So I put it towards the end, and then I was looking at the other one. Oh my gosh. So I thought, whatever, I'm just going to bottle this and see what I get. And it's kind of sweet. So I don't have it on, and I'm not going to do it again, but I did bottle it, and I've given out samples over this last weekend, and the gals that come and help me, they took each a big bottle home, but I put it in my slushie, my wine slushie. So I added that with my red blend, and we went through a lot of slushie. I was going to say,
that's got to be fantastic. Yeah. 'Cause I'm like picturing like a fruit punch kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite that sweet.
Okay.
But it had like the raspberry start, and then the tropical boom boom is tropical, so it has those tropical fruits.
Yeah.
So then it kind of finished with that. So
I'd be down. That sounds great to me.
It's not bad, but it was a mistake, and so so was penicillin, right?
Yeah.
So I have tried different things, and I am doing my first 6-gallon batch of rhubarb with my own rhubarb. Yeah,
that's exciting.
So I had to process down the rhubarb into juice.
Okay.
But I didn't blend it or anything because that's not what I wanted. So I put in sugar and black tea. And so then I let it sit, and it juices and whatever, it's fermenting now. So I like to try new things.
How did you get started winemaking? Like, did you just wake up one day and go, I'm going to try and make my own wine? Or like, how did that journey happen?
I try different things, like in my garden and stuff. Now, I did belong to this wine club, and they closed. And so they make the wine, and then you just drink it, really.
Right, yeah, you just hang out and chit-chat.
Yeah, and then they set cheese out, and it's lovely.
I'm a member at the Moose Lodge in Waite Park, and I go to wine clubs sometimes, and it's just brewing it and then wine. Eating pretzels.
Right. So then they closed down, and I thought, I wonder if I can do this. So literally, I bought like my first wine, like the starter wine kit at the very, the one you would buy. And I set it all out, and I was like, put it on cardboard, and I wrote down all the names of the different things. And then, so I studied it a little bit. I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and it was during hunting season. So my husband said, don't start without me. So I waited after hunting season, and that's how I first started. So I just started with some basic, but I have always been kind of experimental. So I try to do fun things. Last summer, I took some peppers out of my garden and I fermented them. And I made pepper sauce. Oh my gosh. So then I put them in little shaker jars, and they've lasted all winter long.
That's awesome.
I got like 1 or 2 left. So yeah.
I love that.
I just try new things.
Well, and whatever you're doing and however your scientific processes, it's working because you're making some damn good product.
I'm glad you like it. I love it. I love that people like it. So that's so cool.
I've been to a lot of wine bars, and because I like to get out and explore, and this is the first one I've been to where, one, it's a wine bar where they're making their own stuff.
Yeah.
And two, I've liked every single thing that I've tried.
Oh, I like that.
Even like the drier reds, which I'm not really into, they're still really good to me. Like I could still have a glass of them.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
One of the gals that comes helps me, who's awesome. She poured a glass yesterday at the end, and I said, "What are you drinking, Mary Rose?" She goes, "I'm trying the Trinity." And I was like, "What? You don't drink the reds?" She goes, I like it. So you gotta broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
I make what I like. So people have said, "Well, Carol, you should make beer." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to, because I don't know if it's going to be really good, because I don't really like, I mean, I like beer a little, couple of them, but I could drink a bottle of anything I make." Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the whole idea.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the process like to become an expert on all this?
Okay. So the sommelier, I looked it up during the school year, but it's kind of a lot. Okay. So I thought, I'm going to wait till the summer. So there are places that you can go to do it, like on weekends or during the week. I didn't find any around here. And then the ones, and I thought, oh, sure, I'll fly to Vegas and do this for a weekend.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
But nothing worked in my schedule.
Okay.
So I did an online. I did it through, I think it's Penn State, something in Pennsylvania, I think. So you just sign up and you take classes, or you take courses online. Okay. So you listen to this person talking, and at the end of every week you take a test. So for example, the first week was about the grapes and the regions that they were in, and what grapes go with make wine, and the blends that go nicely together.
Okay.
Week 2 was like bottling and labeling. And it's like the history of them and how they've progressed, and how there's different requirements throughout like United States and other countries, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah, because state by state varies, and then you go over to France and it's totally different.
Whole different deal, yeah. And one of the weeks I thought was really interesting was wine myths. So people say that it's the sulfite, and I've told people that it's the sulfite in wine that gives you a headache. Mm-hmm. And I do put less sulfite in mine than you would, because sulfite does keep it on the shelf for a long time.
Right.
Mine's not going to stay on the shelf for 10 years. It just isn't. It's
not
gone.
With the people you're moving through here. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And so I don't make it at that quantity. So if you go and get a big commercial, they're going to have more sulfite. So that it kind of is a thing, but what they said is it's more of the histamine that will give you, like the people who get a headache after one glass, it's their histamine that's acting up.
Yeah.
So
it's like an allergy. Weird.
Exactly. So there was a lot of fun. I mean, it was fun, but it was 7 weeks, and then you take a test at the end of each week, which I was fine with. But then
I'm a teacher.
When it got to the end, they got serious. They say you get one chance, and it's timed, and it's blah blah blah. So I was just kind of nervous.
Pressure's on.
I know I was nervous, and so but I could use my notes. But still, you only had 30 minutes to take I don't remember 40 questions or something. So then I passed, and I was all by myself here, and I just celebrated with a glass of wine.
Of course. How else do you celebrate that kind of thing?
So I thought that was super cool. It was fun for me. So there are 4 levels of a sommelier, and that's level 1. I think I'm going to do 2.
Okay.
The 4th level is very expensive. It's like in the tens of thousands to take the class.
What?
Yeah. And what it says is statistically, there's like 3% of the people pass it. So it's kind of like a master's degree. Yeah. So, and there's very few. There's like different researches, but they say there's like 125 level master sommeliers in North and South America, in like the
Combined?
Americas. Yeah. So that, yeah.
But what if you could be one of them?
Yeah. I got my master's degree in special ed, so I don't think I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to spend that kind of money to do the exact same thing I'm doing right now, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. And so I got my little certificate, and I framed it, and it's hanging up in my production area.
That's awesome.
That's it. Yeah. So it's cool. And it's kind of fun to just talk about, you know, and have done. And
you're the local wine expert now for Central Minnesota. It's great.
Kind of am. Sherburne County.
You have a certificate.
I got a piece of paper saying that I'm
the expert.
Know what
I
I'm
know
doing.
things.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, we have people come in here who have like traveled the world, and then they share their stories. But my plan is when I retire, which is in 2 or 3 years, I think I've gone to school every year since I was 4 years old. So what am I going to do? It's going to be like, yay, but then, what?
Yeah.
So I had a plan. And once the wine bar closes that year, so that goes to the end of September, we're going to go to Italy.
Yes.
Yes. So I want to do some Italian wineries. And there's a place my husband found that you do upland bird hunting.
Okay.
And then they prepare the bird and pair it with the wine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
That sounds like heaven.
Yeah. That's right up there. So I've already studied the country and I'm planning, I don't know, what, you know.
That'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And then just to come back here and share those stories and share what you've learned and create your own creations based on what you've learned.
Yes.
Like, that's going to be so amazing.
Yeah. Exciting for me.
Oh my gosh. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So how did you meet your husband?
So my friend wanted me to meet her new boyfriend.
Okay.
That's what it was. And they were at a deer hunters meeting, and all the deer hunter guys were walking in, and some were quite a bit older than I was. And I kidded with her. I'm like trying to meet her new boyfriend, right? But we're sitting across the bar, and I was like, "Is that him? Is that him?" And then one guy walked in. I went, "Is that him?" She said, "Nope." I said, "I like him."
So that one's open?
Yes. And so we dated for many, many, many years. And really after both of our parents passed then. And it was so cool because it was Christmas and it was COVID. So we didn't go to church. So we had my four kids in the house and we put the church on the TV. But we were all in sweats and whatever. And I was like, "You guys be quiet and listen." And then we ate. And when we finished our basement, I said, "I want a Christmas tree downstairs and a Christmas tree upstairs." So we put presents on both. And then after the upstairs presents, we had our dinner and blah, blah, did the upstairs presents. And I said, "Okay, guys, my kids are all in their 20s." So I said, "Get your beverages, whatever, let's go downstairs." And Tony said, "Yeah, just a second. So then he went into one room, the laundry room, and then he went over there, and he came back, and he gave me the most beautiful diamond earrings. They're diamond hoop earrings. And then he got on his knee and took out the shotgun shell that I shot my buck with that previous fall and asked me to marry him because I already had my blue diamond.
Oh, my gosh.
So he used the shotgun shell as our engagement.
As a deer hunter myself, I love that so much.
He took the shell and cut it and then put it on my finger.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So it was, I was completely unexpected. So I'm crying and my daughters are crying and my youngest son, who doesn't really show a lot of emotion, says, "Geez, this is the most emotion I've had in a long time," you know. So I'm like, "I know." So then we called my sister and we called my family and his family. It was super cool.
That's really special.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really nice. And then I remember sitting down here and later, so it was like midnight or something, and the kids are sitting at the bar and we're sitting on the couch and they're saying, "Can't believe he actually did it. Can you guys believe it? This is crazy." And then we began planning, and that was fun too.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah, so that was cute.
And he did all like the landscaping stuff around here, right?
He does everything. He's very, very talented.
It's gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's just, I'm going to do my best to describe it for my audio listeners, but like there's these cool boulders and the mulch work. I hate doing mulch work, and it looks so good here.
Yeah.
And it's just immaculately done in a way that it feels just like you're hanging out at your best friend's house in their backyard, but it's also a business. Like it's very clearly a business, but it's just got such good vibes to it.
Ah, thanks. He does the big work, like the big stuff, and like the pots and stuff like that, then I do that.
Yeah.
So at my old house, when I lived in St. Francis, I took my mom's plants, like daylilies and some tulips and some other stuff, irises, and I would split them and I would line the woods with them.
Okay.
And so he said, that's not, you're not gonna do that here. The deer are gonna get them. I said, "Well, I'm gonna do it." So I did. And then his mom wanted me to help split some of her plants. So we have almost the whole property lined woods with different flowers, and they kind of mean different things and have come a long way. And like I've moved them from house to house to house. And yeah, I think this is their final place. So yeah.
And are the deer getting them?
They do on occasion, but like the ones they really like, I put little tiny fences up. But I have my daylilies, they don't. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they get after them, and I have to yell at the deer.
Go find something else.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. You guys have built just a cool place here, and I'm so excited that we're connecting and we're doing this and we're sharing this story on the podcast. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's good. We started doing music this year and food trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so nice to just sit here and listen to somebody over there playing music and singing. It's just really nice.
Yeah. Shout out Kelly Cord.
Kelly is awesome. She was here yesterday. And so many people came up and said, she's talented. She makes it look completely effortless. I said she does. And then last time she was here, her nephew was here playing with her.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, they're so awesome. She'll be back a couple more times.
The whole family's just so talented, and I love her to death. Kelly has been my radio mom for almost 10 years now, because we worked at the radio station together and we just instantly connected. I'm like, soul sisters right here.
She speaks very highly of you.
I speak very highly of her. She's just the best. And she's so talented. I love when she sings Trisha Yearwood songs.
Oh my gosh.
Because she's just got the same range as her, and it's just beautiful.
It's so good. Yeah, it's great.
So looking ahead for the rest of this summer, you guys are open the first and third weekends of every month, correct?
Yep, exactly. Yep,
okay.
Sure are. And we got, so on my Facebook and on my webpage, people who are playing and dates, I printed off a thing and I've had it around, but it changes.
Yeah.
So like the food, people cancel, and then I get a new food person, or whatever happens, or I pick up another musician. So, but I'll keep that updated.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'll make sure I have links for all that in the show notes below, so it's easy access for everyone listening. So.
Excellent. That's great.
I love it here. This place is amazing.
Nice. Thanks.
It's kind of fun, actually. So last night, we found out in the evening that our friends from Arizona are back home. They're in central Minnesota for the week, unexpectedly. And when we were sitting out here, we're like, man, our friends would really like this place. And unfortunately, they're already leaving this coming weekend, so they're not going to be here on one of the first or third weekends. But I'm like, they're just going to have to come home again.
Yeah, gotta come by. We've had people from like all over the place. We had a couple who came up and they said that we were here for 2 weeks from Texas and decided to just heard about it from their friends. So it's fun to see like the close-up people, and with so many people say we live just down the road. Well, there's a lot of roads, but
there's a lot of roads around here.
It's very rural, and so, so just down the road a mile or 3 miles. So and didn't even hear about it. Yeah. So I've never heard. So that's cool.
The good news will travel far and wide about this place, because you guys are doing good things and communities need it. So
that's good. We really enjoy it. We talked about being open every weekend, but we still want to do stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be worn out. By Sunday night, we sit and, then we'll start a fire and relax, and it's good. But we don't want to do it just like it's not our full-time job. Yeah. So that's why we went with every other weekend. I want to go do some four-wheeling too, and whatever else.
Summer's too short, and that way it keeps it kind of like a special treat.
Yes.
And it gives people purpose to be out here when you're open, and I think you guys have a great system in place, and you guys are still getting some relaxing weekends in the summer, and the four-wheelers getting miles on it.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up here?
I don't think so. I think it's... Wait a minute, I want to say one story. One story that kind of got us going on this. Tony and I were in church one time, and our minister said... It was a story actually about money, and I don't really like to talk about that. But because we had built this, he said, if you come across some in your life, make your table longer, not your fences higher. I got in the car and I said, Tony, that was so cool. Make our table longer, not our fences higher. That's what we got to do. And that's kind of like, yes, that's what we're doing. And so I love the idea of that.
Not only did you make your table longer, you turned it into a full bar with multiple patio tables.
Yeah, bought some more tables too. So we got seating for everybody, hopefully. Yeah. Anyway, that was all.
You guys are so cool, and I'm so glad that we're connecting, and I just love this place.
Thank you. I love it too.
Thank you so much for checking out another episode of the Small Town Tourist Podcast. Be sure to check out Boulder Creek Wine Bar. They are open the first and third weekends of the month throughout the summer. All the information is down in the show notes below. If you're looking for more content from the Small Town Tourist, you can follow me at the Small Town Tourist on Instagram and on Facebook, and you can check out the blog, thesmalltowntourist.com. I'll catch you next time.